So good morning, good afternoon and good evening, green morning, green afternoon and green evening, wherever you are world over, in the different countries, in the different continents, in the different time zones, wherever you are, we pray to Almighty and we hope that you're taking care of yourself, your family, your friends, your neighbors, your community, your civilization, and anybody whosoever is directly or indirectly associated with you, you're taking care of. And you're keeping yourself mentally strong. Ladies and gentlemen, physically, the body will follow when you're mentally robust and mentally strong. That is the way we all got to be taking care of this pandemic and this coronavirus. Today is 141st. Wow. 141. When we talk about this particular webinar during this COVID-19, making education relevant, आइए शिक्षा को प्रासंगिक बनाएं. It's a global confluence of educators, corporate, and the total focus is on research, innovation, skills, entrepreneurship, startups, micro, small, and medium enterprises. And with that also comes the employment, because that part also is to be taken care of. In this yet very powerful morning, afternoon, and evening, let me share with you that initially I'll be showing a couple of slides so that we all are on the common frequency. And thereafter, we have got a very distinguished guest this evening, Dr. Gaurav Dhakar. He is a serial entrepreneur. Ladies and gentlemen, not the entrepreneur I'm talking about alone when we say he is the entrepreneur, but at the same time, serial entrepreneur. That means a couple of startups, couple of things which he has taken care of. And he's the ex-head strategy, that is the Ola Cabs. Wow, who doesn't know the Ola Cabs? So great, hearty, wonderful, and a pleasant welcome to this particular dignitary, this distinguished guest, ladies and gentlemen. So let me share a couple of slides with all of you initially, so that in the different countries, in the different parts, different continents, we all are on the common frequency. Ladies and gentlemen, our chamber, International Chamber for Service Industry, ICSI, is in the service of non-resident Indians world over, wherever they are. And when you are in different countries, different time zones, first of all, a very great and a good morning and a warm welcome to each one of you from Canada, from United States, from Latin America. Whether you're on the Eastern Coast or you're on the Western Coast, you all are taking care of your health. Early in the morning, your morning jog or morning gym or morning exercise or coffee or tea, whatever you are taking, remain fit, take care of your health. Let me move from there, ladies and gentlemen, with the chamber to European continent, all the countries. We know that Italy, France, Spain, UK, they suffered quite a bit during this pandemic. Our deep condolences to all the departed souls and wherever they are. Now, the people, those are in this universe, they got to take care of each other. That is something very, very important. From Europe, you have finished your lunch. Before you go for your evening tea and coffee, let me roll from Europe and come to the Middle East. People, those are joining us from Doha, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Kuwait, Sharjah, Dubai, Abu Dhabi. We extend you a great welcome and a hearty welcome. And of course, a lot of people are joining us from Central Asia also, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan. We extend you a very warm welcome, all our brothers and sisters, those are joining from there. Let me come from there to South Asia. When I move this part, Bhutan, Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Nepal, we extend you a warm welcome, all our brothers and sisters. Hearty welcome to yet another very powerful, very meaningful, because we all got to remain intact like one family, global family during this particular pandemic. I also take you to Port Louis, all the way to Mauritius, because the majority of the people, the population, people initially, those have gone from Bihar for the sugarcane plantation and everything over there, Mauritius and Seychelles, of course. And now swirl around and let's go across to India and we take you to ASEAN. All the 10 beautiful countries, 650 million population, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Brunei, Vietnam, all the 10 countries, wonderful people. And they are so good because there's so much relationship between the Southeast Asia and the Northeast part of India, to which Indian Prime Minister calls Ashta Lakshmi, those beautiful 8 states what we have got over there. Let's go to African continent also. People are joining us from South Africa, Mozambique, Uganda, Senegal. They are coming from Angola. We extend you, and of course, Dr. Mishra, we extend you a very warm welcome for joining us from Kenya. You're taking care of the health ministry over there. And also from Bahrain, 270 families. Those come directly on the Facebook, Dr. Gulshan Sharma's page. We extend you a very warm welcome for joining. So ladies and gentlemen, the whole purpose is making education relevant. What is the purpose of education? Why to go to school? Why to go to college? Why to develop skill, competencies? What do we want to get? That is something very important which we have to understand. Now, during this lockdown, our thought processes are affected, business is affected, physical and mental health is affected, and the main part of the universe is education is deeply affected. If you take the statistics of the UNESCO, 1.86 billion children at present are away from school, colleges, universities, institutions, world over, wherever they are at present, they are away. From India, when we say Namaskar, Pranam, Aap Sabko, Shubh Sandhya, from India, Vasudev Kutumbakam. भारत में जितने भी लोग आज इस कार्यक्रम में जुड़े हुए हैं, जिस भी राज्य से हैं, जिस भी जगह से हैं, आप सब लोग अपना स्वास्थ्य का ख्याल रखिए, क्योंकि भारत में केसेस बढ़ रहे हैं। और देखिए, कोरोना के टाइम में अगर आप प्रिकॉशंस नहीं लेंगे तो बहुत ज्यादा तकलीफ हो सकती है, और जितने केसेस बढ़ेंगे उतनी ही हमें ज्यादा आगे प्रॉब्लम आएगी। सो व्हाटएवर गवर्नमेंट इज कन्वेइंग, उन नियमों का पालन कीजिए, भारत में अपनी चीजों का ख्याल रखिए। वन वर्ल्ड, वन लव, वन फैमिली। यदि आप स्वस्थ हैं तो सारा विश्व स्वस्थ है, इसलिए अपना ख्याल रखिए। Ladies and gentlemen, heartiest congratulations to the Honorable Prime Minister of India and now the Education Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, along with him Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank ji and his entire team, all the stakeholders, directly or indirectly, those are associated with the education. The new Education Policy 2020, it is announced on 29th of July. When it gets implemented, and whenever it gets implemented in totality, it's going to make India once again the global knowledge superpower. India used to be Vishwaguru, and if you recollect, if you remember, Nalanda was the, क्योंकि इन दिनों में पढ़ने का बहुत टाइम मिला, बहुत सारी वीडियोस देखने का टाइम मिला. I'm talking in English language because a lot of people are joining, those are native from the different countries, so that you should not have difficulty. That's why I'm talking. नहीं तो मेरे को मातृभाषा में, अपनी भाषा में, हिंदी भाषा में बात करने का और प्रयास करने का और प्यार करने का बहुत दिल करता है, लेकिन we have to take Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam the world over. So ladies and gentlemen, when I talk about it, Nalanda was the first residential university of the world with 10,000 students, 2,000 acharya. You name a subject, it was taught over there. You name any kind of a discipline, whatever you want to talk about. Ancient India's civilization. And can you imagine the darbans, the people those used to stand, praharis, those were outside, they used to conduct the first interview. And from the world over, people used to come, giving various interviews and all, somehow getting, they were always requesting we should get a scholarship to study over here. That was the stature of India. I'm not getting into the details how the education system was destroyed and all, because we are positive we are talking on those things. Now, let's make education relevant. I lost one of my very close friends recently, who was basically a moving legend on this planet as far as education policy framework and as far as education empowerment, innovative strategies, creativities. When you talk about Sir Ken Robinson from the UK, he had gone to US, he had come back to UK, and just a couple of days back we lost him. His soul should rest in peace. What a wonderful person, always thought of to schools kill creativity. That was the title of his book. And So much he used to share all the time. What are we teaching? How are we teaching? What exactly we are teaching? What's the application of whatsoever we are teaching? How relevant it is our day-to-day life, whatsoever we are teaching? Is it really going to be meaningful in our life, whatsoever we are teaching? And how teaching should become practical. This particular coronavirus, ladies and gentlemen, whatsoever it has come like a tsunami when you talk about the digital wave, whatsoever was to come in phases after 2 years something, after 4 years something, after 6 years something. I still recall Alan Toffler wrote one very good book, and that was called Future Shocks, 1970. And that gentleman, before writing that book, he worked in a factory for 5 years to understand what is entrepreneurship, what exactly is a startup, and how to get into a business. And can you imagine, 1970 onward, all the addition of Alan Toffler's book, Future Shock, which comes. If you can lay your hands on, otherwise you can see his audios and videos, whatever you feel like on the YouTube. It's a mind-blowing what exactly was given over there. And today you talk about artificial intelligence, you talk about augmented reality, you talk of Internet of Things, you talk of cloud computing, and a couple of things whatsoever is coming up. So the sole purpose is education got to have a purpose with my life. Should I study for living, or should I pick up life management skills? Well, let's proceed on. 15th of July, it was International Youth Day for the skills. It was Youth Skills Day. And on that particular day, this particular campaign was started, because before that, we were exclusively bringing principals, headmasters, teachers, counselors, trainers, strategists, and we were getting others. Now we are getting the practical people, because we want each and every youth to be empowered. And our program is called, this particular series is called, Yes, Under Making Education Relevant. That means youth empowerment strategies. That is something which we have to work out. There are so many paths what we have to talk about and we have to think about. Now, during this particular campaign, during this particular series, when we are talking about making education relevant, all the research which we have gathered from world over, the next misunderstanding among nations is going to be on water crisis, water scarcity, water shortage. People, those have to fetch water from distances, come to certain places of Rajasthan, come to certain places of Gujarat, come to certain places of far flung in south, come and see a couple of places where people have to get their water. So every drop of water is very important for us. So every evening with our theme speaker, with our main speaker, we get 5 kiddies also, 5 children also, and under the women empowerment, we get 5 girls, and they share their vision after the main speaker for a minute or two, and they tell us what do they think about how to save water at home, how to save water in school, college, university, institution, public places, cinema hall, retail malls, and your working places wherever you are. Women empowerment is very important, ladies and gentlemen. World over, you've got to understand, when you educate a male member, you educate individual. But when you educate a girl child, you are educating 7 to 8 subsequent generations. Empowering women is so important. If we want, yesterday was a World Literacy Day, if we recollect and remember. And we had a very big webinar along with about 4,000 plus people, from the world over who joined in that particular program. Now, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you get 4 very powerful speakers who talk with us. What are the new startups? What are the new innovations? What are the new strategies? What youth should do? Don't underestimate these millennials. They are wonderful. They are born with the gadgets. If God meets me one, I will tell him at the age of 70, how can you make me once again 15 years old so that I can get back to the school and I can enjoy all that technology which has come today. So ladies and gentlemen, parents, wherever you are, with a folding hand at this age, I request you, try and give space and pace to your children. They are wonderful. They are wonderful. They are awesome. They have got, I'm with the younger kids. I'm with the young generation. I always believe they are wonderful. They can do remarkable on this planet, given the right opportunity to show their creativity. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we have done that program at 7 o'clock. Then comes Friday evening. And on Friday evening, we talk about Buddhism. 500 million plus people world over, Buddhism followers. Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya, the Secretary General of the International Buddhist Confederation, relevance of Buddha's teachings in today's education system. What is the relevance of that? That is being discussed. And then comes Saturday evening. Wow. Monday to Friday, you have worked very hard. You are with us in that journey. Now, Saturday is a happiness. Saturday is a music. Saturday is yoga. Saturday is meditation. Saturday is naturopathy. Saturday is organic. Saturday is something out of the world. And when I talk about music, it's very important. Asha Bhosle, the legend, the music legend of India, she congratulated the Honorable Prime Minister of India and the Education Minister that now science students can also take music. Commerce students can also take fashion designing. Wow. Art, commerce, science, all compartments being removed. So ladies and gentlemen, think positive, talk positive, live positive, dream positive, and always think good for the humanity. When you think good for the humanity, the nature will support you, nature will help you, the God will shower so much of blessings on you, you can't imagine. I started my journey in a very humble way in the army, and I moved to the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, and I thought I will not do my further studies, and now I've joined the army. But then I did my master's, my Ph.D, and thereafter, having gone to the Ministry of Tourism, set up the National Institute of Tourism, which is known as IITTM, drafted India's first MBA tourism program, along with my colleagues and other stakeholders and all, and we launched in 1990 the first MBA tourism in India. And what a pleasure, today's speaker who is coming, he's from Rajasthan, he's from Udaipur, and in Jodhpur University, when we had gone over there, I still recall, we started a program there also with Maharaja Gaj Singh Ji. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, then comes Sunday morning. And I always ask a question to myself, why Sunday should be a holiday? Why not we should work on Sunday? Sunday we do all other activities of the life. This Sunday, nobody will go to toilet. This Sunday, nobody will take breakfast or lunch or dinner. This Sunday, nobody will take oxygen. Can you live that way? If you can't live that way, then why Sunday should be a holiday? Look at the Indian Prime Minister. Last 6 years, not a single holiday. We wonder world over. All the people, all the stakeholders, all the NRIs, everybody wonders what's happening. Not even a one-day holiday, not even 1 hour holiday. Every time one after another thing is happening. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Sunday morning, we bring to you Vidya se Adhyatam Vidya ki Aur. And that is an integrative series, a journey from Srimad Bhagavad Gita and the 10 principal Upanishads. When we talk about it, it is none other than the Professor Satyendra Dhiman, who comes from the Woodbury University, Burbank, California, and he is a stakeholder. It is a treat to the spirit, to the soul, to the mind, to the ears, and of course to my entire constitution. Sunday morning, 9:30, listen to him. Before you listen, Mann Ki Baat of the Honorable Prime Minister in India, please do join for this particular program. Once you join it, I feel very happy. People sometimes write to me, oh, today I didn't get my webinar series WhatsApp. You have not sent it to me. I want to come for that program. Do join. Sunday evening, 5 p.m., ladies and gentlemen, we take you to ASEAN, all the 10 beautiful countries, 650 million population, fastest growing economy, least of impact of the pandemic and the coronavirus. Cambodia has reported almost nil cases. The things are going on very well. Thailand has reopened their institutions, everything and all that. Our president coming from Thailand at present, and immediate past president from the Los Angeles, and the future president from Malaysia, Dato Ramesh Kodamalji. All these people, wonderful from there. And then comes, wow, Sunday evening, 7 p.m. During this pandemic, a lot of people have suffered a lot. They have lost a lot of business, quite a bit of it. They have got a little bit of push and pull. Whatever has happened, you had little difficulties. But well, it's a part of life. Life, always you see the graph, as long as it is up and down, the oxygen is going on and we are alive. If it becomes flat, things are bad. So, ladies and gentlemen, every Sunday, 7 p.m. in the evening, we bring you with Ravindranath ji, the former CMD of NSIC, Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise. Under his dedicated and dynamic leadership, we bring you a very special series every Sunday where we talk about what are the new startups and what exactly you can do to regain, retain, empower, enrich, develop, and whatsoever you want to do. And in this journey, now I have got, when we talk about the startups, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of new people are supporting us. And I'm thankful to Colonel Anil Kumar Pokhriyal. He is the CEO of the Management and the Entrepreneurship and the Professional Skill Council. It is under, excuse me, it is under the aegis of Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India. And along with him, if he's the captain of the ship, the second captain with him is Mr. Santosh Kumar, who is the person who is bringing all the permutations and combinations together, along with my team, Dr. Chitra, Habungasha, and Ajay Kundal. They all are working hard on this. So I'm grateful to Colonel Anil Kumar Pokhriyal and Mr. Santosh Kumar for bringing all the, the right speakers on this particular platform to empower and at the same time taking the vision ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, our chamber from morning 9 till evening 9 o'clock, 12 hours non-stop service. Anybody in any country, in any continent, in any part of the world, should you need any kind of a support to empower your education ecosystem, whether teachers or students or anybody else, we are there for you. We would love to help you. We are there to support your efforts, whatever we can do. Ladies and gentlemen, 25th of March to 31st of August, all these months together, this is the crux which we have got from world over, the entire synthesis of the research which has been done by our various teams in different countries, in different continents, and uska nichod nikale. So the golden triangle is not going to be Delhi, Agra, Jaipur. The golden triangle, the new golden triangle, you've got to understand, at least for some time. First of all, the B2B, it will be no more business to business. You've got to understand the term for some time. B2B should be called back to basics of life. Try and survive in less. Try and make use of things optimum. Start growing your own vegetables if it's possible. Take care of your health and happiness and your wellness. And education, it will never get back to the 4 bricks walls. It is out. It is a flip learning. It's a digital learning. It's a technology-based learning. It's a blended learning. Whatever name you want to give it, choice is yours. It's a sustainable development of the entire universe. For some time, you've got to take it. As I mentioned to you, every evening, ladies and gentlemen, we get the stars of the evening. There are 5 stars of today evening. Let's save every drop of water. We have got Tanisha, we have got Rishika, we have got Krina, we have got Jyotika, and we have got Ishita. So from world over, all the girls under the women empowerment, those are interested to be a part of this journey. Here is Colonel K.C. Manan. He is the regional advisor South India for our International Chamber for Service Industry. He's based out of India. You can write to him. You can send a WhatsApp to him. If you are sending him, +91, you got to add before his mobile, 87544262270. Or you can also send an email to him, advisor.southindia@ICSI.asia. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the person. So all the principals, teachers, stakeholders, counselors, please bring more and more people. Contact him directly. And these 5 little kiddies of mine, my children or my grandchildren, I wish to tell you this evening that today you have been given this opportunity. First, we will have our main speaker to speak, and thereafter you will get this chance. By the time, I would request all of you should open your Facebook. You should open Dr. Gulshan Sharma's account. You should open your watch party. Tell your all friends, brothers, sisters, and your parents and everybody, wherever they are, your neighbors, everybody should join for this particular campaign, because this evening we are going to empower the entire universe with today's distinguished guest and today's speaker. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me now introduce our today's veteran, Dr. Gaurav Dhakar. He is the serial entrepreneur, ex-head strategy, that is Ola Cabs. A great welcome, a warm welcome, and a hearty welcome. He is a Ph.D. in consumer buying behavior. Wow, that's a very interesting subject. There's a lot to learn from him. Who are the consumers? Why do they buy? And what is the behavior of the consumers when they buy? And maybe after buying, do they change their behavior? Great. So Dr. Gaurav Dhakar is PhD in consumer buying behavior with 13 years of experience in the corporate strategy. That's another dynamic, powerful. Partnership and alliances, business operations, management consulting. He is a strategic planning, project management, revenue growth, and skills development programs. So all of us, ladies and gentlemen, when you talk about Ola Cabs, I have enjoyed Ola Cabs a lot. I don't want to name the competitors, but always when you travel in the Ola Cabs, economically, I used to pay less as compared to vis-a-vis traveling in others to whom I don't want to name ethically. He is a turnaround specialist, delivering YOY growth for business with P&L ranging between INR 100 crores to INR 1000 crore across e-commerce, fast-moving consumer goods, media, airport retail, government advisory, healthcare, education, smart cities, and agriculture. Wow, you name and he is there. Before starting his own consulting services, his last assignment was head strategy and business operations with the Ola Cabs. Head strategy and business operations. Wow, every word जैसे बोलते हैं संस्कृत में संधि विच्छेद. So we are going to take maximum benefit of every word whatsoever is here. With Ola Cabs, managing business transformation responsibility to develop sustainable market leadership through mobility supply chain solutions, electric vehicle infrastructure policy, new product development, and community engagement platform for driver partners. Wow. Great, great. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great privilege. And I think before, like it happens in the film industry, you get the main star on the stage. And before that, the anchor always say, ladies and gentlemen, let me put your hands together and extend a very warm welcome. So Dr. Anil Pokhriyal, wherever you are, my Colonel Anil Pokhriyal, and Santosh Kumarji, wherever you are. And of course, thank you very much for bringing Dr. Gaurav Dhakar-ji this evening before the universe to share his experience and to help the universe, and particularly my younger generation, those are interested to become startups and those are interested to take on some new operations. So ladies and gentlemen, with these words, I bring you Dr. Gaurav Dhakar right over here. World is yours, the globe is yours, people are yours, continents are yours, NRIs are yours, their children are yours, and India is also yours. Let's start this evening, Dr. Gaurav Dhakar.
Thank you, sir. It was indeed a pleasure to hear from you. My introduction and the way you have portrayed it, it's a larger than life introduction which I have got it. So thank you for that. And secondly, before I start, I would like to thank everybody who is watching this webinar and who is part of this webinar, and people across the world. It's a very warm welcome to them. And it's indeed a pleasure to be in front of you talking about certain things which I am very much connected to it, and I wanted to share these details with you so that everybody on this webinar can be benefited. So as I proceed, I would be sharing one of the presentation, and then we'll be taking through that presentation. Let me just share this presentation first and then start the journey. I hope this presentation is visible to everybody.
Wonderful,
And
wonderful, wonderful.
okay.
Please go ahead.
So the topic which what I am rather covering today, it's about go online. So it's been journey where the people wanted to go online with their businesses, and it's been happening across the world in some bits and pieces. I would say 6 months back, and the one I don't say the best part, but then the one the catalyst which COVID-19 has done is to bring us digitally alive very fast, which could have taken maybe around 4 to 5 years. But with COVID coming in, people have become more tech savvy, more digital, and that's where the life is changing very fast. And I guess Dr. Gulshan Sharma has already mentioned that the things which would have taken 6 to 10 years now are happening at this point of time. So at the sorry. So at the same time, it is very important that the businesses who are small and medium or micro enterprises needs to understand that how they wanted to become online and what is the meaning of online. Because everybody wants to say everybody wants to be online, but it's very important to understand that when we say that a business is getting online, what is the meaning behind it. So I would start with that. Okay. So when we say online, so according to most of the people, which I have interacted and which I have, you know, uh, consulted, they say that if we can make a website, we can become online. So making a website means that I would be having my products listed on the website, and then world will know about my business, and I would be online. Well, that's the part of being online, but that's not 100%. Second thing is that maybe getting onto the LinkedIn or Amazon will make it online. I'm just using these names. Please don't quote me wrong on that. It's just that these are more popular and the familiar names which are available in the market. So that doesn't mean that you are online. This is just a way to communicate to the people. So even if I take that, one of the platform, if you are there, then probably, you would be sharing a huge part of your profits to them to be, part of their system. But then that doesn't solve the larger issue which we are trying to address today here, making a YouTube channel. Now, making a YouTube channel would definitely help you, but then that's not complete getting you online because it's a medium of communication, it's a medium of marketing. You wanted to do it, or maybe on the Facebook or Insta, or maybe creating a WhatsApp group. So these are all the things which are part and participle of getting you online, but then they are not in totality a complete way where a business can become an online. So is this sufficient? If you ask me, no, that's not sufficient. So what takes you or what takes a business online? That's I gonna talk about within these 15 pillars today. And I would be sharing those 21 steps for a business to get online. Now these 15 pillars, I would take one by one in terms of explaining it that what these 15 pillars mean and what needs to be done in terms of becoming an online. So business plan automation. So technically, if you ask me, every business today can go online, but then there is a part of a business which can go online. So for example, if somebody is running a salon, then booking or scheduling can go online, but then providing the service, it's a physical thing, so it has to be provided physically. So you need to be clear, the people needs to be clear, or the candidates needs to be clear that what part of the business can go online, and accordingly a business plan can be created. So in a case of a salon, we can say that only a scheduling can be made online. So that's where we have to be very clear that if you are considering a complete business, what are the parts would be becoming online or what are the parts can become online. The second thing is service offering and product catalog. So what's important is that today, if you are, I'm continuing this example of salon for the entire presentation because it will help in terms of understanding and connecting the dots together. So when I say service offering and the product catalog, it's very important to understand that when a consumer is looking at your website or your catalog, he needs to understand what is the options he has today and what are the price ranges wherein he can buy, because the consumer today is very smart. And as I said, as we used to say that the consumer is the king, consumer will always be the king because he has option, He can flip around different website and check who else is selling or who else is offering a better service package at this point of time, and what is the value proposition of yours compared to others. So it is very important to list our service and product in an appropriate way with the complete value proposition which talks about that this is what as a package a consumer would be getting. Second important thing is the technology, hardware, and software. So what happens here is that if I take an example of a retail or a kirana shop, I mean, I'm taking a very basic examples here so that everybody can connect. I mean, I can get into a very complex kind of a situation as well. But then the idea is to understand that what it takes to go online. So if I take an example of a kirana store or a retail store, I mean, probably he can say that I can become online by just creating a website or just listing my product. But at the same time, there is a requirement of the hardware. Probably he would require a console, a barcode reader, a printer. All those things comes as a part of a hardware. On the software side, he might require the softwares like Tally or a ERP system to take care of his complete management basically. So these are the things which normally a people would require in terms of bringing in terms of getting the hardware and softwares being intact as a part of the process of getting it online. Then one of the important factor is the customer care. So making a sale happen is not just the objective here. Keeping a customer intact with you or increasing the life cycle of the customer is where the crux lies in. If a customer is buying today, will he buy tomorrow, or will he buy thereafter, or will we be able to sell him certain products which are not able to sell today? So that's where the customer life cycle is very important. And how to manage that thing? We need to have a customer care. So there has to be a situation wherein we are able to connect with the customer, we are able to do proactively certain kind of interaction with the customer and make him glued or hooked to our system. So that's where the customer care comes into the picture. Now the next pillar here is sales training and analytics. This is again a very important topic because we try to manage our systems and our procedures to become online, but at the same time the people behind the scene has to be trained well, because if a salesperson is not able to cater the online system, then at the end of the day, we would survive for a few months, but then not a sustainable business scenario would be created. So that's where these all things are very important. Apart from that thing, we have to look at very deeply on the analytics side as well. See, what happens is that the power of the digital or the power of this online business also gives us an understanding to read people from the data which is available to us. So today, if somebody is making a constant purchase, say for example, again I take an example of a salon. There is a gentleman who is coming for a facial or a haircut, basically, and he comes up exactly after 3 weeks. So then we have an analytics today that 3 weeks are getting completed, and probably this gentleman would come again. So probably a proactive approach would help us in terms of building a relationship, which might help us in terms of doing certain more or pitching more products to him. I mean, maybe something else could be pitched to him once he visit the salon. The next thing is the distribution and delivery. Now, probably for the salon, it might not work. It might not be an important thing. But then, if I take an example of a retail, wherein the distribution and delivery plays a very important role. People would say that I'm online. Able to get the orders from the website, and I have all technology, hardware, everything intact to be online. But at the same time, we also need to consider that who gonna be delivering this particular product and how it will be delivered. What would be the time at which it would be delivered? Now, the online has made us impatient, I would say, patience less. If I have to put it into other word. So today, if I order, I need the product maybe in if I maybe in half an hour or maybe an hour's time, or the waiting time for that particular delivery has been reduced. I mean, people used to wait when uh, when previously or maybe 2 3 years back when these e-commerce platform came in, people used to wait for a week time to get their product. But today nobody waits. They want their product instantaneously. So maybe some people have already started 24 hours delivery, or people have also started 2 hours delivery. So this is what is happening in today's world. We have to be very careful in terms of setting up our distribution and delivery systems. MSME, GST licenses. So what happens is that today government has rolled out, and one of the slide which I read of Dr. Gulshan Sharma ji was about in terms of the MSME. So MSME has rolled out lot many schemes today. People don't know how to tap those schemes. How to create a plan for that particular scheme to take the benefits from the government. So these are all the things which needs to be looked into it. And if your business is falling under a particular category, then definitely there are certain kind of initiatives and the schemes which the government has done, and people should take benefits of that. At the same time, businesses would require in terms of doing some licenses like the GST license, because if you are selling beyond a certain limit, you might require to get these GST licenses as well. So these are the certain things which people should remember while they are getting online. Then comes the website. I would say it's an easier thing, but at the same time, it's very important to create an interactive website, and it's a very important to create a website which appeals to people. So creating a website is not a difficult task, but then creating an interactive website becomes a challenging task, and it becomes a very important feature of your overall value proposition, because that's where the customer looks you at the first time. Like if you have a website, that's where the customer would go, would know about your product, would know about you basically, and would know about other things as well. There might be some testimonials on the website as well, wherein a customer would go and just you validate that okay, this particular business is a good business. It's an honest business altogether. So that's where those all elements has to be plugged in together.
Dr.
Then
Gaurav, Dr. Gaurav, small request to you. Some
yes,
of the people from world over are not getting your volume. If you can just
okay.
increase your voice a bit, it will be very kind of you.
Sure, definitely, definitely. So I'm just holding mic in front of me so that people would be able to hear me properly. In case anybody is not able to hear, please ping me. I'll try and increase my pitch a bit more, if
It's
possible.
fine. It's fine.
Okay, so next one is about the packaging. So what happens here is that when the customer is coming at your counter, it is very easy to pack it and give it to them. But then when the deliveries have to happen, when the product has to be sent over some kilometers, there a particular packaging needs to happen. I remember a case where there was a ice cream parlor, and they were started and getting online. Now the biggest challenge they were facing in terms of packaging the ice creams, and they created a very innovative solution where they used to pack the ice creams in dry ice, which is a kind of a CO2, but then it's a kind of a thing wherein when it comes in contact with the air, it evaporates, but then when it is completely packed, it maintains a temperature -4 degree. So that's where these things comes into the picture, and the packaging becomes a very important factor, that the customer gets a particular product the way it is shown in your catalog. Because sometimes what happens is like you show something, and at the end of the day, when the customer is receiving those particular products, he is just not satisfied, because he has built up, and probably we have raised the expectation in his mind that this is what you will be getting, but then because of the poor packaging, there's some kind of a damage or some kind of a change in the texture or something which happens where the customer has a bad experience. So packaging becomes a very important pillar. Then comes the SOP. So what happens is that when you start a particular business, it is very easy to serve customers at the initial phase. But then when the customers start growing, what happens? You need to have a procedures, you need to have standards which you have to maintain. Otherwise what will happen is that there would be a variation in terms of the way you would be dealing with the different customers. Now that cannot happen. Every customer is very important, and since every customer is very important, we need to have a standard protocols to maintain. That's where the SOPs comes into the picture. Then my favorite, digital promotion and content. So what happens is that you have to then speak about your business. You have to talk about your business. You have to create those relevant content. It can be a testimonials, it can be a complete process which you follow. It can be anything which helps in terms of communicating you in a better way. social media marketing, YouTube, FB, these are all the things which will follow, because these are the channels which are available, and lots of millions of billions of people are available on this particular channel. So that's where it is very important to be present on this channel. And then the more than important is the thing is that you are present in the right way. You pitch those customers right way. You find out those people who are your potential customers out there in a proper way. And one of the important factor and the important pillar is the inventory management. Now what happens is that, look at your business. If you are not able to manage your inventory, probably you would receive an order, but then you would not be able to fulfill, and that is the worst situation than getting an order. So it is very important that we do have an inventory management. This may be, you can consider as a part of a hardware and software, but then inventory management itself is a complete task, and then it requires a lot of thought process while selecting a particular inventory management software or hardware. And of course, once we have done all these activities, probably the next step would be the mobile app application. Now, what I'm trying to do here is that I have created 21 steps which will help anybody to go online within 15 days. I gonna take you through these 21 steps, and one by one would talk about little bit. I will talk little on these 21 steps, and finally we would see that if we will do all these 21 steps, which is actually a little detailed version of the 15 pillars which I have spoken. But then these are 21 steps which helps you understand that if we complete this 21 step, we will go online. So the first step is the business idea. There has to be a business idea. We have to thought through it. Again, as I said, we need to understand which of the services can go online, which will be offline, all those things. So the first step is the business idea. The second step is in terms of defining the value proposition. It is very important that whatever the services we wanted to take online, we define a proper, clear-cut, sharp value proposition. Because a customer, the attention span for the customer today has reduced from 9 seconds to 6 seconds, and during the COVID season the scenario, it has now reduced to 3 seconds. So just imagine the customer would look at to you for only 3 seconds, and within this 3 seconds we have to create an impression. So that's why defining a value proposition is very important. Then as I said, what part could go online? So it is very important that we segregate that the parts which will go online and the parts which will remain offline. The next one is defining the product and services. So once you define the value proposition, then you define the catalogs, which comes as in the products, what all products you would be selling and what all services you would be selling. Then defining the sales strategy, it is very important. How would you start, or how would you sell your products and services? I mean, it's very important that we have a sharp sales strategy. We know what we are doing in terms of the products and services which we are trying to offer. The next one is the legal formalities. As I always say that we have a very wonderful legal structure in place, and then the current government has worked really very hard in terms of creating as simple as possible. So legal formalities needs to be taken care while we are trying to build up our online platform. Then again, as I said, software and hardware. So software and hardware needs to be worked out. It's very important that the correct configuration and the correct software and hardwares are installed, because we have to be very clear that how well we wanted to scale up our operation. It might have happened that after 6 months we feel that the software or the hardwares which we have used are not applicable because the load has increased. There are a lot many customers which has come. So then there would be an extra cost which will come into the picture if we have not thought through the software and hardware in advance. Distribution and delivery, again, a very important part of it. The next steps, the 9th step, is the content and creative. We have to be very clear in terms of selecting our products and then their contents and creative, what we are trying to pitch, how it is going to be appealing to a customer. So all this content and creative have to be in place. Sorry. It's about identifying the vendor. Now, we what we are trying to do here is that we need to identify a vendor who would be helping us in terms of developing certain things which are not core to us. Like for example, softwares and hardware. If we wanted to outsource, who would be the vendors who would do it? Or for the website, who would be the vendors who would do it? So these vendors are very important. And of course, these are not in terms of the technology vendors, but then the supply chain vendors. So tomorrow, if we are saying that we want to getting a retail store being done, so we need to identify that who are vendors who will help us in terms of getting us the material. It's about the website development. Again, very important piece because that would be the face of us and reaching out to the customer. Licenses, as I said, licenses not only include in terms of the payment gateways, but then also in terms of the security layers which we need to have it to create our system more robust and secure. Because when people do transactions on your website, they have to be rest assured that you have used certain kind of security layers where their data is confidential and will not be made public. Then it's in terms of the resource onboarding. It's very important that we identify that what kind of the resource in terms of the number and the capabilities which will be required while we are taking our business online. Because most of the time what happens is that in the homegrown business, we see that these are the things which will be managed internally, but sometimes we need extra capabilities, and so that we need to go out all out and try to find out those resources which will be required in terms of helping us in the business. Defining SOPs, which I have already explained. Inventory management, again a very important pillar, and I have explained that the inventory management is very important, because if we do the inventory management properly, then there is something which is called as a carrying cost, which is something wherein you have to, it's a cost of keeping a particular inventory which remains unsold. So it's not only a cost, but then it also occupies some part of your go down, or some part of their warehouse, where which could have been sorry, which have could have been utilized by a product which is more fast moving. Packaging material, again very important aspects, because packaging materials help you in terms of defining that correct packaging material is required based on where you are transporting, what you are transporting, and what kind of the product and services you have it in your package. Social media account, having a proper social media account is always important, because that's where you have to communicate to the people, and that's where they would always get attached to it. So suppose you have a YouTube channel, and they would expect that you will keep on emphasizing on creating new content on your YouTube channel, because that's where they get awareness. Marketing and communication, again a very important thing, where offline, so here what I mean is more over the offline marketing and communication. So normally obviously we are working on the digital side of it, but the catchment area what we have it, there the offline marketing and communication will still work, and it will still work that the people who are visiting your shops and your brick and mortar establishment, there the marketing communication, offline marketing communication will be definitely and helpful. Then the customer care, I have spoken about it. Sales dashboard. Now this is something very interesting. As I say that once the sales start picking up and we start analyzing that what are the sales which we have it, so it helps us in terms of identifying the areas where we can grow the sales, and there are certain areas where we can milk them more. So the idea is that if we see that that particular kind of a customer which orders this particular kind of a product, so we try to work more on the promotion side of it, or more on certain kind of a value proposition which can be created for the customers. And then finally launch and manage. So once we have this, then the final thing which comes is the launch, and of course to manage the entire system. So these are the 21 steps. If we are able to do these 21 steps, we can take our business, any business for a matter of fact, online. And then it's just a matter of 15 days. As I said that this entire thing can be done in just a matter of 15 days. So I think that's all from my side at this point of time. And uh, I would then say, if there's any questions which I can take it at this point of time, or we can do it after the session which has been planned by Dr. Gulshan Sharma. So, sir, over to you. Please suggest.
Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful insight. Wonderful insight. Uh, let's take it. You mentioned about the Ministry of MSME, Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise. They have come out with lot of new incentives, packages, encouragement and other things. But at the same time, you have got a sector skill council also, which is taking this particular journey. So how would you like to tell the youngsters, how do they go by? These 21 steps are beautiful. We have given the insight. We have given them the complete, this 15 days program, what you have got, is it being offered by your organization?
Okay. Sir, I'll take the questions step by step. The first one is in terms of the Ministry of Skill Development. So, we have to see that there are various programs. So, since I have worked in the skill development sector for almost 6 7 years, so I can drill it down to the lowest level possible. But the idea is that there are more than 1,000 job roles which has been identified by NSDC. Now, the idea is to take the benefit of that, and various sector skill councils. There are more than 39 sector skill councils, and one of them is MSME sector skill councils. Now, MSME sector skill councils runs amazing programs, and these are the programs which can be benefit where the youth can be benefited by taking them. And believe me, their certifications is a very important thing, because when you go to banks for applying for loans or micro loans basically, or even under there are certain schemes which the government have started. So the loans scheme, Mudra loans basically, if you go and apply through these certificates, the chances of you getting the loan would be higher than anybody else who has not applied with these certificates. So that's one part of it. Now the second part is in terms of this 21 steps. So what we do is that we help businesses in terms of consulting them, in terms of helping it out, helping them, and then validation of their particular programs. So what we say is that everybody has a comfort level in terms of working with certain kind of partners, and most of the businesses have been working with their partners for a while. So we don't want it to disturb what they are doing. It's just that we can help them in terms of validating the complete business plan. This helps in terms of seeing the larger picture, the bigger picture, and at the same time a surety of the fact that they can become 100% online by doing XYZ things if they have done the ABC things. So it's just a layer which is sitting above which they have already done. We are not doing something from scratch. So the idea is that if somebody has a fear that I have invested a lot of money in terms of making my business online, and now if I take help of me or my team, I have to do it from scratch. No, we will just consult them and try to help them in terms of if there's any elements which are missing at this point of time, we will add those elements only to them.
Okay, okay, wonderful, wonderful. So, if you would like to just give, are there any prerequisites person should already have who wants to become an entrepreneur? These steps, everything to be followed. Anything you would like to tell as a guru mantra, which you would like to tell them that if somebody wants to become a startup or to start something new, एक बेसिक चीज उसके अंदर होनी चाहिए, बॉय और ए गर्ल, दे शुड हैव इफ दे वांट टू बिकम स्टार्टअप और इफ दे वांट टू बिकम एंटरप्रेन्योर.
So I think Sharmaji, the only thing which I feel is the mindset. If you have a mindset that you wanted to go online, we will help you go online in 15 days. It's just about the mindset. Anybody who has an idea, anybody who wants to say that, okay, I'm stuck somewhere, please, I mean, we will help them. Or, for a matter of fact, if they follow these 21 steps, is that they can help themselves. I mean, I would suggest that whosoever is looking at these webinars and then part of these webinars, first try yourself. I have already given these 21 steps. So if you feel that you can do it yourself, it's a do it yourself kind of an activity. I mean, this is something which we are bringing to the world. In terms of the steps, it's a kind of a template which they can use it. Just have a proper mindset, understand the scenario, and then work around it. I'm sure you start small, but then the sky is the limit, and you can grow leaps and bound in just a short period of time. And one of the quote which I always mention at the start of the presentation, somehow I missed it. It's a quote by Bill Gates which says that if your business is not on the internet, then your business will be out of the business. So it's a very powerful kind of a statement which has been made by Bill Gates. And I think it's a time, and it's the right time to go online. Any business, big, be it big, small, or micro, I mean, the people needs to go online. That's what be my suggestion, and my request to everybody who is listening this particular webinar.
Okay, this 15 days program, what we have got, how much time one person has to devote or dedicate every day? Or is it you give some insight and then they practice at their own? How would they like to go by? The kind of, because that slide was too quick, before we could assimilate, you finished it.
No worries on that, sir. So the idea is that the 15 days program, so even if somebody invests, 60 to 90 minutes per day, I think that's more than enough. So the idea is that, there would be a lot of things at the end of it wherein they have to work as a, how should I say, a homework kind of a thing where they have to be prepared themselves, and then the next day they have to bring up. So what we do as a part of it, we create a business canvas, and business canvas helps them in terms of understanding the complete scenario in and around, and that's where, that's acts as a blueprint or the bible for their business. So I think 15 days is very optimistic, we have taken, and people can, complete this thing in less than 15 days also. I have seen people completing in 7 days. So I mean, 15 days is something wherein
Wow.
everybody can do it.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, world over, all the youngsters, the key word and the buzzword which he has given to all of us is, first of all, mindset. That is something very important. That's a mind blowing, and that's called mindset. And secondly, he says 60 minutes to 90 minutes. And he says it is sometime, the people have done within 1 week also. You need not to undergo the entire program of 2 weeks and all that. So over here, would you like suggest that they can write to you on the email which you had shown over there?
Yes, definitely. So, my website is pretty much simple. It is gauravdhakar.com. So either they can go onto the website and there is a link where they can connect with me. So it's a connect page. So their queries will come to me. Or my email ID is gauravdhakar@gmail.com. So it's a pretty simple, my name @gmail.com. So anyways, they can directly approach. Anybody can approach me. And see, any knowledge, any information, anything, I mean, please feel free to reach out to me. Whatever in my capacity, I will try to definitely help you out. I mean, I am on the mission to make this world digital, and so do everybody who is on the webinar. So that's where let's connect, let's help each other to make this world digital as much as possible.
Wow, wow, wow. That's great. That's great. That's great. Let me just see something. Entrepreneurship is by choice and not by chance. Thank you very much, Gaurav, for the insight. Thank you to one and all. A very good webinar, truly motivating and empowering. Sir, last इतना इतना इनको certificate चाहिए. Great presentation. Okay. Monica, great, great. These are the people, they are so nice because at least they give their identity and they want to come. Otherwise people say, let me hide in the Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, let me share with all of you, I'm stopping the Facebook from coming Friday. Tomorrow will be the last day on the Facebook. I'm not coming on the Facebook thereafter, and we are going live on the YouTube, and you will be coming on to this. Otherwise from Facebook we are shifting over. So great, great. Now, you have a choice. You have a choice, because let me also give you a choice, because you are from a wonderful, wonderful place called Rajasthan in India. It's a beautiful state. And ladies and gentlemen, when you think about tourism, when you think about Pushkar Festival, when you think about media entertainment industry, and when you think about all the canvas, beautiful, colorful, that all comes from Rajasthan. And when you think about movies making, he's at a place, Udaipur, where there's a beautiful palace and beautiful places over there. And I personally make a request to all my brothers and sisters, particularly, of course, let's start within India, the people, domestic tourism, because if you can't travel outside India, you should travel within India. You must take a journey to Rajasthan. And now today, the insight what he has given you and your mindset, that is the first thing which he has given to all of us. And when I spoke to Colonel Anil Pokhriyal, he told me lot of youngsters world over are going to get so much from him. Now this particular webinar and this particular program tomorrow morning 9 o'clock will also be available on the YouTube. You can come on ICSI, our International Chamber for Service Industry portal, and you can also come on Dr. Gulshan Sharma's YouTube channel, and you can share them, you can view it, and all the slides which he has shown, all the steps which he has given, 21 steps which he has given, wonderful. Now we got to give him the choice because he's the celebrity this evening. So Dr. Gaurav, Would you like to first listen to these small, for me, they are 5 kiddies. Would you like to listen to them? Or our chamber has developed during this coronavirus a song that India has to become Vishwaguru once again. What would you like to take first? Then accordingly, I'll package that.
Okay. So, sir, if you are giving me the choice, I'll go by, hearing from those five kiddies,
Ah,
because, it's been, wonderful to see, it would be wonderful to see them and hear them.
yes, yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, from world over, 5 children, grandchildren, great grandchildren of mine, wherever you are, because 70-year-old young boy is talking to you from the soil, different continents. Let's start this evening from Madam Karina, this child. Karina, unmute your mic, child. Yes, Karina, come, 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 come. Come on, let's have you. Good evening, child. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Hearty welcome to you. I hope you, your parents, your family, and all the people associated with you are fine.
Yes, sir. How are you doing this evening, sir?
God is kind, beta. God is kind. So we request you about a minute or so, share your vision, your version, how the water saving should be done in India. Because Dr. Gaurav was very kind. He said that let's first listen to these, uh, my children. Okay, let's have it.
Today I'm going to talk about how different countries of the world have taken their own measures to conserve water and at times recycle water for using it again. So, starting with the Middle East, there's a country, I mean, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has long been a leader in desalination. In fact, it is the largest producer of desalinated water in the world. Most recently, it's taken desalination technology to the next level by introducing desalination powered by renewable solar energy, something that is available in abundance in this desert region. Again, Israel. Israel is the leader in water conservation technology because of its desert location. But today, that necessity has grown into an economic incentive. The country recycles 85% of its wastewater. By 2025, it estimates that 50% of its agricultural needs will be met with recycled water. Additionally, with more than 300 water technology companies specializing in desalination, it earns $2 billion annually by exporting its water to other countries. Moving to Europe, United Kingdom is a leader in smart water metering technology, enabling residents to monitor their water usage online. Smart meters provide users with more detailed information about how water is being used and in what quantities. It also allows households to get better hold on their water usage each month and encourages them to install water efficient appliances and other water saving technologies in their homes. It also helps customers pinpoint leaks that cause increased usage. By 2030, Thames Water, a leading UK provider, wants smart water meters to be installed in every home it serves. Big data is the talk of the town now. Every industry is using data to determine what can be done to better the future, giving predictive insights. The United States based company Pacific Gas and Electric has an innovative way for the citizens to read their energy and water usage. It also allows the users to compare their usage with other similar households. This move has helped households to conserve energy and use water in a more efficient manner. Moving to Australia, sensors and automated systems have implemented in Australia for conserving water during agricultural activities. With this, computers are involved in the process of crop watering. These sensors are placed in farms and read how crops are growing and accordingly decide how much water is needed. So these countries are doing very well when it comes to conserving water, and we should definitely learn from them. That is for my part for today.
Thank you, Karina. So, ladies and gentlemen, Karina took us on the world tour without spending a single rupee. And all of us, we travel different countries, different places, and all that. Somebody has asked me on the WhatsApp child because people from different languages, some of them are Spanish speaking, German speaking, and French speaking. So, what you mentioned about Saudi Arabia, the first technology, the first word which you used, can you repeat that slowly? Somebody mentioned about,
Desalination.
sorry?
Desalination.
Okay.
Basically, yeah,
Salination.
desalination. Yes, sir.
Desalination. So, Pratap Singh ji, it is desalination. Desalination. Okay. Thank you, Karina. God bless you. Proud of you. And what have you kept behind child over there? What is that lying over there? Yeah.
This
Yes.
it's a soft toy, sir. It's a monkey.
Oh, it was looking. God bless you. God bless you. God bless your teachers. God bless your parents. God bless everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Jyotika, good evening, child. Jyotika, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good evening, child. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Good evening,
You've
sir.
got to bring the mic near. You've got to
So,
bring the
can you
mic.
hear me now?
Yes, now it is
Yeah.
better. Hold it there only because your voice has to reach. Yes,
Yeah.
Jyotika. Yes, Jyotika. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Share.
So,
I
hi,
hope
everyone.
you're fine. I hope you're fine.
Yes, sir. I'm totally
Everybody,
fine.
everybody at your place is fine.
All good. Well, I'm logging in from Bahrain. So,
Okay,
it's all
you're
good.
from Bahrain. Bahrain.
Yeah.
God bless you. God bless you.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So, hi, everyone. Today, I'll be speaking about water conservation in household. As we all know that water is mostly used in household and it is a need of our to conserve water, especially in our household. So I'm going to go through the techniques.
Little mic nearer. Little mic nearer. Little mic nearer. Increase volume.
Yes, sir, now?
Yes. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
So today I'll be speaking on water conservation in household. So I'll be running down two, three, four concepts of techniques. So the first and common basic is obviously rainwater harvesting. And it is common, but then to implement that, you need a lot of dedication. So there are two types of rainwater harvesting. One is on rooftop and underground. Rooftop is collecting of rainwater, and it's quite a fresh source of water. Underground can be used for the purpose of irrigation for plants, or can be used for other gardening activities. The second thing I would like to say is, in, as we all know, since water is nowadays so precious and all, and when we look to our bills, we get scared. So another way we can conserve water is like when we use to wash off vegetable, fruit, or dish plates or anything, that water can be used for planting plants as well through the means of irrigation. This same technique can be applied in for washing machine water. It's a clean water, soap water, same technique. And other technique is ferrocement tanks. It is similar to rainwater harvesting. It is basically a container made with iron wire mesh, and all the rainwater water is collected and can be used for various activities. Another thing is that I feel this is quite important while washing hands or while washing your face or anything. That same water can be transported or can be used for the toilet tank, and that same water instead of getting another what do you say line of water for toilet tank, the same water can be used. In that way, we can reduce water, usage of water. And other ways, usage of water saving shower heads. In that, it means that there is a specific time and there's only this much usage of water. It doesn't exceed how we normally use. That's it. That's how
Thank
we
you.
conserve
Thank
water.
you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Jyotika. And our greetings to everybody in Bahrain. Stay safe. Stay nice. God
Same
bless.
to you, sir. Thank you. Thank you
Rishika.
so much.
Rishika. Rishika. Are you there? Rishika, good
Am
evening.
I audible, sir?
You are audible, child. You are audible. God bless you, child. Welcome.
Good evening. Good evening, sir, and good evening, everybody.
Yes.
The topic that I'll be talking about today is water conservation in industries and companies. After air, all of us do know that water is the most important element which is needed for survival. If it is not managed properly, it will lead to shortages in near future. It's a finite resource and hence needs to be conserved. The first step in reducing water consumption in industry is to identify current water usage. This can be done and this can be accomplished by reviving past water bills or by undertaking a water audit. What is a water audit? An audit which establishes baseline water usage data and reveals areas in the operations with high water consumption. A few industries that use the maximum amount of water include the food and vegetable farming, um, textiles and garments, meat production, beverage industry, etc. A few tips from my side to you would be, to the industries would be, they could reuse non-potable water for other operations. Water which is left over from one sector of an operation can be reused for another purpose. For example, water used for cleaning can be filtered and reused for landscaping or for cooling equipment. Industries should also replace outdated equipment with energy efficient alternatives. Water usage is also cut by investing in equipment with water saving technology or dry equipment that doesn't require water. One example is by using air cooled equipment in place of water cooled equipment wherever possible. With respect to the food and beverage industry, upgrading and replacing equipments which utilize water should be frequently done. Old equipments always tend to consume more water. Traditional water-cooled ice makers use about 100 gallons of water just to cool the condenser for producing 100 pounds of ice. Upgraded ice makers save extra 100 gallons of water from going down the drain. Um, Leakage detection is also a very important measure which industries should take. Since many people work in industries and they use the taps in the toilets and wash basins many number of times a day, it's very normal for the taps to become loose and drip water even after it's fully closed. Care must be taken, and the maintenance department should continually check for repairs or any leakages which will help in saving many gallons of water. Workers also must be aware about the fact that they themselves should be responsible about informing industries regarding the water. Like if any particular thing is not working, it's not only the duty of the maintenance department, but also people who work over there to bring it to the notice, which is for the betterment of our society. Water metering can be installed in industries as it will help to identify water leaks in addition to monitoring its usage. Water consumption is important as it keeps water pure and clean, and it is our duty as responsible citizens to keep our limited supply of water pure and away from pollution. I'd like to conclude by quoting the words of Mahatma Gandhi. The earth, the air, the land, and the water are not an inheritance from our forefathers, but on loan from our children. So we have to hand over to them at least as it was handed over to us. Thank you.
Rishika, I wonder sometime how today's children are so intelligent, so creative, and so innovative. You speak so well, your communication skills and your, what do you call that, your machine, what you are using, your audio system is so good. God bless you, child.
Sure.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And
Thank
have
you.
a safe stay, have a wonderful stay wherever you are, world over.
You too, sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
God bless you. Tanisha, good evening, child. Tanisha,
Yes, sir.
good evening, good evening. You got to make your audio proper, audio. Bring
Okay.
mic near, increase the volume, because see, the last speaker, particularly, Rishika, her volume and everything, the pitch, because if your voice is not heard, then there is a problem.
So is it okay now?
Yes, it's better, much better. Because see, people are watching you all the way from Peru. Yes, go ahead.
Greetings to everyone. Today I'm going to speak about how to save water effectively at public places. So the first and the most important, yet the often most ignored aspect is creating awareness. You know, we often say that creating awareness is a necessity, but we don't take it that seriously. But you think about it. If you don't create awareness inside the people, you alone cannot change anything. So the first step is creating awareness amongst the people. The second step is could be avoiding installation of ornamental structures like artificial waterfalls or fountains, because if it's only for the appearance purpose and then water is getting wasted, trust me, it's not worth it. And then, yes, we are all very careful about the leaks and cracks in our houses, but that's not enough. We need to be, conscious and careful about the leaks that we see in pipelines at community places. We need to report such leakages and cracks because every single drop of water that's getting wasted can make a huge difference. Then, yes, we can put a layer of mulch. Mulch is basically any substance that could be put around the roots of a tree, and it basically slows down the process of evaporation of moisture. So less water is required for watering the trees, and it's useful for both water conservation as well as the growth of the trees. And anything as basic as a newspaper or leaves or husk and anything that you may not even consider useful can be used as a mulch and can prove to be highly beneficial. Then yes, water lawns only when it is required. I mean, obviously it is very important that you take care of plants and gardens and parks, but even if you're over watering them, that's just going to destroy it. So you need to be very careful. You know your plants carefully and water them only when it is needed. It's going to help in the growth of the plants as well as save water on a community level. One very innovative device that we can use is flush control devices. Okay, if we assume at a workplace there are multiple people working, and if an individual uses the washroom 3 times a day, these innovative flush control devices can reduce the water wastage to up to 3 liters per usage, 9 liters per individual a day, and about 2,160 liters annually. So, something as simple as this can make such a huge difference. And then, yes, if you talk about conserving and saving water at the community level, it is but obvious that you need to invest in a good rainwater harvesting system. You can get barrels or rain catchers in order to collect rainwater and then use it. Yeah, you need to look after the sewage systems in your locality and make sure that the untreated water never goes into a water body, because that's going to be really, really harmful for the surroundings. Yes, another very important tip is while watering your lawns and farms, you must sprinkle water them during the coolest part of the day. Not many people know about this, but when you do it, when you water your farms or parks this way, the roots and leaves get more moisture and less amount of water is used. So again, it's both beneficial for water conservation as well as the plants. You can use drought resilient plants. There are many plants that specifically fall under the category of drought resistant. So these are the plants that require less water. At the same time, they're good for the soil and they are easily adaptable to the weather. So these are the kinds of plants that we need to grow now. And yes, at big places like malls and community centers and other places like cinema halls, we need to adapt ways of on-site reuse. This water can be converted into grey water and black water. Usually the mentality of people is that grey water and black water cannot be used. But if you have to do stuff like cleaning your cars or laundry or, use it in the toilets or flushes, so grey water, after being very easily treated, it can easily be used for that purpose without actually wasting pure water for that such menial task. So to conclude, I would only like to say that there is a saying that goes this way, that you only realize the worth of water when the well is dry. But I say we should realize the worth of water today and ensure that the wells do not dry. Thank you.
Wow, great. Thank you. God bless you. So here is the last, my little kiddie. That is Ishita. Ishita, you got to unmute your mic, child.
Hi, sir.
Great evening, beta. How are you?
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes. Perfectly fine. Okay, please go ahead. I hope you're fine, parents.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, great.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Today I shall be talking about techniques for saving water effectively in colleges and schools. Franklin D. Roosevelt quoted that we cannot always build a future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. I strongly abide by this quote, and I feel like colleges and school campuses can immensely help us in water conservation. This will not only help us globally, but every single youngster on the campus out there will learn about the importance of water conservation for the future lives in the youth of today. Now, I will be sharing a few conservation techniques that can be implemented in schools and colleges. Firstly, educational institutions must start using wireless water management services. Cal State LA was able to lower its water bills and reduce water usage by 27 million gallons in just 18 months. The system also saves valuable staff time and adjusts to weather changes. Coolers and other equipment water cooling systems can be replaced with ones that reuse cooled water. This not only saves water, but electricity and gas as well. Water-free urinals which don't require flushing can be used instead of urinals that require flushing. They use liquid chemicals and gravity, and they save up to 40,000 gallons of water every year. A large amount of fresh water can also be saved, and sewage can also be eliminated. A significant amount of energy is preserved, and unnecessary carbon emissions can be avoided for sure. Large campuses also have access to creeks and wells on their land, and Stanford